everybody, this is Andrew from TS for Tech, and today I'm going to be taking a look at this MorePro GT2 Smart Watch. Now, this is the second smartwatch I believe I've taken a look at from MorePro. They did send this over to the channel for an honest unboxing, first look, review, etc. So I do appreciate them sending this over. Obviously, with all my other reviews and all the other things I do on the channel, none of that affects how I rate these, what I say about them, or anything like that, but I do appreciate MorePro sending this over because I've had a few people message me in one of the other videos like, hey, are you going to take a look at this one? So it is good that I got it. So I did already take the plastic off of this. It had a clear plastic wrapping because it was a little bit torn from shipping, so I just pulled it off the other day. But I will be kind of unboxing this, taking a look at what's inside, taking a look at the MorePro app, and doing the typical things that I usually do with these, where I wear them for a few days, sync them with the app, see how that they work and all of that, and then report back on the tail end of this review with some of my thoughts on the actual device. Now, I am going to use this with an iPhone, and I do have my Apple Watch 6 in graphite stainless steel, just to compare from just a size and look perspective, because if you look at this, it kind of looks like an Apple Watch. So I just wanted to do like a side-by-side part of this as well. So I'll do that. So we'll just go ahead and take a quick look at this. You get a service card. It looks like they've prepared a free strap replacement, which I guess is nice. You can contact them for that. And then the device is right here. It's not connected to the strap. They just put it in this little box top. And then inside you have a few other things. Quick guide. Obviously, we'll tell you a little bit about the watch itself. Have the band, which is just a standard band. I don't know the lug size. Maybe it looks like a 20 millimeter or something like that. I'll check on the lug size, but decently feeling rubberish silicone band. Get your magnetic charger. A lot of these devices do have kind of this little two-prong magnetic charger that kind of snaps to the bottom of the watch. And you have the device itself. So as you can see on the back, you've got some sensors. You got a kind of a metal pad. You got the two little prong holes for the magnetic charger. Then on the side you've got this is not a button. It kind of looks like it'd be a button like the Apple Watch, but it doesn't actually push in. This is for doing the electrocardiogram. That's where you kind of hold it to measure that. It's got a dial. Well, it doesn't actually turn. Well, it turns. This little dial turns, but I don't think it controls anything on the watch. It's not like the crown on the Apple Watch. It's mostly just a button, but it looks, I mean, you could turn it, but it doesn't do anything. So we'll pull off the screen protector, power it up, I guess. And as you can see, you've got your screen here. You can swipe up to change the watch faces. There's only like 4 or 5 watch faces. I don't know if you can actually swap these out with the app or not. I'll have to check on that. If you swipe to the left, you can get into different sports modes. Now this one has outdoor run, walk, indoor run, walk, hiking, stair stepper, outdoor cycle, stationary bike, elliptical, and rowing machine. So those are the things you can do there. And you swipe again. Go back to the ECG. This one does do blood pressure, I guess, as well as your heart rate. We'll have to see how accurate that is in practice. Power off, power on. The sleep screen, so it talks about your sleep. Steps, distance, and then you're back at the home screen. So none of these scroll. Except for this one. So you can, music, find your phone, some settings there as well. Has a stopwatch, a countdown timer, you can do your blood oxygen, messages. So we'll go through some of these features a little bit later when I get onto the review of the actual watch. So you can swipe right or left, it just goes through the same panes. The only one you can vertically scroll looks like to be this main one with all the apps. And if you swipe down from the main screen, it switches watch faces. Yeah, and that's basically it. So everything from a settings perspective, I think you'd get through the settings. So brightness, the auto lock, etc. So that's what that looks like. Now I'll quickly put the band on, and then there you have it. Now, I mean, this is an attractive looking watch. Unfortunately, the screen does not take up the whole front. I think you can see there's a bezel on top, bezel on bottom. From the perspective of the Apple Watch, it's about the same size in height. It might be a little bit wider, maybe just a hair wider. I don't know if you can really tell. It's definitely a little bit thicker. And this is what I mean. Like, here's the button on the side of the Apple Watch. This has this kind of thing that protrudes, but again, it's only for the EKG or ECG. You can see what the backs look like. Basically, it is about the same size. From a weight perspective, the stainless steel Apple Watch is heavier. This is a little bit lighter. It's made out of aluminum. It comes with one band. It's a little bit shorter than the large band on the Apple Watch. This is the large band for the Apple Watch. This one is just a little bit shorter. But from a hole perspective, it looks to be lined up about the same. Now, this has a different attachment. Obviously, it has the regular kind of watch band attachment, and this has the sports strap, but very similar. So from a size perspective, like I said, similar to the 44 millimeter Apple Watch. So this does use this MorePro app. So it's MorePro by however the heck you pronounce that. So obviously you need to set it up. So what I'm going to do actually is go ahead and set this up. I mean, you just need to put in an email password, connect it with Bluetooth, and then you can start using it as, you know, the app for the tracking. And like I said, what I'm going to do, I'll set this up. You know, I'm not going to do that on camera, but I'll set it up and I'll start using this for a few days. Kind of, you know, track my sleep, track my activity, you know, try to get some steps, see if it's pretty accurate, etc. And then I'll come back on the, you know, well, it won't take any time for you, but I'm going to jump over to the computer and I'll do a screen recording of the app and kind of talk through some of my experience and let you know if I think this works or, you know, how it works, etc. So let's jump over the computer and finish up the review. So this is the app, and as I said in the other part of the video, I did register for this. I used my email address and set up an account, fairly easy process. And within this, you can actually go in and basically connect to your device, right? So if you go into the menu, the settings, click on the device, you can see the battery level. You can set up notification categories, so what type of notifications you want to actually get on the watch. There's a heart rate scope, so if you want to have a heart rate cap reminder, or you know, if you want to get warned if you're exceeding certain sorts of ranges and that sort of thing, you can do that. I didn't set that up. You can turn on your sedentary reminder, so that will kind of ask you, you know, start time, end time, how often you want it to indicate you to stand up. So if you want to stand up every hour between 8 and 6 p.m., you know, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., you can do that here. You can turn on the display to light up when you bring your wrist up to your eye level. You can change the screen brightness duration, so how long the screen stays lit. I did increase that to 10 seconds because it was going off like too often. Has the ability to set alarms. So I set up an alarm Monday through Friday, 6:15 a.m. and it did work well. You know, there's 2 or 3 days where I was using that and it did wake me up. You can set event reminders. You can have it, you know, rotate your wrist to take a photo. if you have the app open. You can also set up private blood pressure mode where you set in a reference. You can take your blood pressure in like a blood pressure cuff or an automated cuff, and then put that in there so that it knows to kind of adjust based on that reference. So when it's taking your blood pressure reading, it takes into consideration what you just measured kind of externally to calibrate. There's this section called Switch Settings, which you can then turn on automatic heart rate and blood pressure detection, oxygen night monitoring, so when you're sleeping, it'll kind of measure your SpO2, scientific sleep, which is kind of a automatic sleep detection, and you can also turn on low power mode if you need to. I had all those on. Firmware, change device password, clear the data, or cancel the pairing. So this is the main screen for the device and all of the settings that you can make within the application. Now, here you have a profile and do awards and ranks and all that kind of stuff. So there's a little bit of a social aspect to this. You can connect via a third-party platform where here I had connected to Apple Health so that it can sync things into Apple Health. You can change the app language. You can change the system units. Now this is a bug, I think, because I have kept setting it to Imperial, because I'm in the United States and we're not on the metric system. I keep setting it to this and it says it was set successfully, but when I come back into the app, occasionally it keeps getting set back to metric. So I think there's a bug in the app, and there's a couple bugs in this app actually. It's a little bit quirky, which again is something that I'm really annoyed at generally when I'm looking at these kind of third-party, not first class devices like an Apple Watch or any of the Android or Samsung devices, is that the app on the phones usually has some weird quirky issues that just kind of deter from the overall experience because you're dealing with like weird bugs. So it's kind of annoying. You can also set up goals and steps and calories, your sleep targets and goals, alarm for getting up, all of that kind of stuff. So you can set all of that up within your profile, and there's some other information here as well. So that's part of the settings. You can go to the Today view, which gives you a snapshot of your current exercise or your current stats. I have not worn this today, so this doesn't really have any information in here. But if I do go back a couple days, you can start to see and I didn't really do much. Like I was wearing this during the day while I was kind of working and all of that. So I didn't go a bunch of steps or anything. So that's kind of, I should have probably done some actually more walking and all of that. But anyways, so you can see your steps, you can see, calories burned. It tells you kind of like what percentage of your goal that you reached for the day. And if you take a look at this, like it shows a breakdown of your sleep. So deep sleep, light sleep, rapid eye movement, gives you some sort of overall quality indication based on that. So you can kind of see, you can see that. And then you can also look at your steps in this sort of detailed view. And you can look in your heart rate, which for whatever reason, I don't know why there's no heart rate data showing up here, because I did wear this. Let me go back to the main screen. I mean, there should be data. That's the problem. Well, that's actually really weird because I did have this on, right? So that's odd for the heart rate. So here you can see during the day on the 18th, it did take regular blood pressure readings. So the average was 121/80. I did have a high of 132/83, kind of a low of 115/81. So it does take regular, systolic, diastolic blood pressure. Okay, now there's some data showing up. I'm not really sure why. So there's a heart health index that's that it uses heart rate variability to kind of calculate there. shows your SpO2, right? So kind of says it's normal, 98%, you know, respiratory rate, cardiac load, and things like that. ECG or EKG. I did take one that showed up. You can see here, it's kind of crazy. I don't know what it was doing, but then the next time I did it, it was kind of normal. So you have to kind of hold your finger on there, and you know, you can take the ECG, shows your weight. I was just putting in some numbers here so I could see, you know, what the graph looks like. But there's that, and then you can go back. Blood pressure, I said, heart rate. Again, I don't know why the heart rate doesn't show up here, because it does show up on the heart rate variability. So that's very odd. So that's another bug. The heart rate data doesn't show up. You can look at exercise. You can do, you know, you can start the exercises from the app or from the device. There's also some family settings. So you can add other people from your family, and you can kind of have them also in the app to view. And I think there's some social sorts of things that you can do there. But overall, this is what the app looks like. Like I said, some bugs, definitely some bugs, because as you see, like the heart rate was not showing up. Wait, let me go back here. Okay, so here on this, it says, oh, that's today. There's too many things to switch around. Okay. So on this day, it does say average heart rate is 72 beats per minute. Average heart rate is, blood pressure is 114/87. So if I click that, okay, now I can see it. So that's really weird. So it does have the heart rate data here. So as you can see, it does constant measurements every, few minutes, and then it shows that as the result, and then gives you the average, tells you your resting heart rate over the course of time as well. And you can see over the few days in the week what it was, etc. So, I mean, this does grab quite a bit of data. I mean, the app is nice enough to look at, but like I said, there's some definite bugs, because you know, every time you go in here, you know, like I was just showing, some of the data doesn't show up, some of it does show up. Now, the other thing that's really interesting to me is on the actual device, it shows a different list of exercises than the app does. So in the app, it says run, indoor run, outdoor run, plank, outdoor walking, climbing, hiking, run. No, that's it. Yeah, that only shows these. But then in the actual device, it has a different set of exercises. So again, like, it's just odd sorts of things that are inconsistent, you know, between the device and the app. Like here, it's only going to show you these types of activities. And if you don't have those types of activities, then I don't know how, yeah, it shows up weird, because I did record one exercise for 20 minutes on the stair stepper. So you can see it does show up, but it's not intuitive at all. So, I mean, that's basically what I wanted to do, is just kind of show a little bit of the app and kind of talk a little bit about what I was just talking about. You know, definitely I think that the MorePro could work a little bit on this app and kind of enhance it, because it is a little bit confusing to use and navigate. There's too many screens. There's too many, you know, flipping between this exercise and like the data view. I don't know why you can't just click on a tile here and get to the exercise data. Why you have to go out and then to a separate menu to see the exercise data. That's just odd to me. And then also just paging through the calendar. seeing, you know, when you've exercised or when you have data. It's hard to see. There's a little bit of a different shade of green around there, like an activity ring type of thing. But it's just not intuitive. And I mean, obviously you can kind of swap through these and see, you know, you can change the days, but like what I was saying before, some of the data then doesn't refresh correctly on here. So I don't know. So if you have any questions, definitely go ahead and post those below. I hope this was helpful. You know, it's again, just wanted to provide an overview, a little bit of insights on how the app looks, how it works for me over the past few days and using the watch. For me, I wouldn't switch to this from my Apple Watch because, I mean, this is obviously not in that even near the caliber of the experience that you would get using all the, you know, the applications on the iPhone and the Apple Watch. But if you don't have an iPhone and you're looking for a device that looks like an Apple Watch, that gives you all the basic smartwatch capabilities with some, you know, basic activity and exercise tracking. If you're looking for blood pressure monitoring, heart rate, blood oxygen level, all that sort of thing, you can definitely get that from this device, and it's not that expensive. You know, it's fairly inexpensive, and for the most part, it's a decent experience. It's just not a top-notch experience if you have kind of that high expectation. If you have any questions, go ahead and post those below. I'll be happy to try to answer in any way that I can. This is Andrew from T is for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.